Could the way you're setting up your employee recognition budget be causing your program to fail? In this video, we'll give you 3 expert secrets that will help you structure your budget to actually drive participation and success. Hi, I'm Joe, co-founder and co-CEO of Guusto. On this channel, we help people leaders like you build amazing cultures by recognizing and engaging your people. Setting a budget for a rewards and recognition program isn't just about what you should spend, it's how you spend it. The way you distribute your budget can impact participation in the program, the impact that it has, and its overall success. A lot of rewards consultants and recognition companies oversimplify this. They might recommend you set a budget based on a simple headcount formula. For example, if a manager has 10 direct reports and you want each person to get $25 a month in rewards, that manager needs a $250 monthly allocation. Pretty easy, right? But let's look at how this plays out in a larger organizational structure. So let's say you have one VP who oversees 5 managers who each manage 10 people. Each of the department managers gets a $250 monthly allowance. So far, so good. But the VP only has 5 direct reports, so they only get $125. And in an impactful program, you need your leaders to walk the talk, and that means recognizing people across every level of the organization. This kind of recognition is like magic pixie dust in terms of improving your employees' sense of morale and engagement. And executive level participation is a massive indicator of the likelihood of your program's success. If your VP doesn't have budget for it, they won't recognize enough people, your employees will think your leaders don't value the program and don't value them. Ultimately, this is going to dilute the effectiveness of the program. And if your leaders aren't recognizing people, it's not part of your culture. This is just one problem that we see frequently in our work with clients. Here's how to tackle this issue, plus 2 more tips to set up your budget for success. Give the right amount to the right people. Going back to the example we just shared, you need to ensure that the allowances you're giving people at different levels of the organization are enough for them to recognize the people they need to. This means making sure that the people at the top have generous budgets that they can use to reward not just their direct reports, but everyone under them. A good rule of thumb is to budget a set amount for each of their direct reports, and then a smaller set amount for each employee one level below that. So maybe our VP in the last example now gets $25 for each of the managers under them, and $10 for each person a level below that. Now they have $625 to spend on recognizing people at all levels of the organization and can really get involved and start leading by example. So, what else should you keep in mind when setting your budget? Well, one thing is to set allowances on a reasonable frequency. With most recognition programs, each person is given a set allocation of rewards that they can send over a given period. At the end of that period, the allocation resets, and any amount that's not been used is gone. Often, recognition isn't part of your daily culture, and expecting people to recognize each other frequently from day one might be an unreasonable expectation. Recognition is a skill that needs to be developed, and with the right framework and coaching, it can become habitualized. So, you might want to set your frequency to reset quarterly instead, at least to start, so that people have more of a chance to get into the habit of sending recognition, which will improve your chances of success. Hey, hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, feel free to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Number 3, set your allowances based on projected participation and not your total budget. Finally, and this one might raise a few eyebrows, but the total allowances you give your people over a given period shouldn't be the same amount as the total budget you have to spend. It should actually be much higher, and here's why. Let's say the total amount you can spend on recognition is $100,000. You'd assume then that you should give your employees allowances that would total $100,000, right? But here's the thing. You're never realistically going to get 100% participation and usage of the program. We'd love it if you could, but it's never going to happen. So if you project your first year participation to be, say, 40% and your allowances total $100,000, you're only going to spend $40,000. The problem here is that if you only spend $40,000 on rewards, you're only going to see $40,000 worth of impact on your culture. If you want $100,000 worth of impact, that's what you should be aiming to spend. So I'd recommend overshooting your allowances based on your projected participation. If you want to spend $100,000, you might need to give total allowance allocations of $200,000. 40% participation would then mean $80,000 worth of rewards are sent in your company. That brings you much closer to the amount you actually want to spend, with a fair amount of wiggle room in case you've underestimated participation. You may want to be slightly more conservative or slightly more aggressive than in this example, depending on your situation, just so long as you factor participation into your budget distribution and understand it can make a huge difference to your program's impact. On that last point, I understand why you might be a bit skeptical. Maybe you're worried that people will overspend on the program if you set your allowances too high, and it's important to monitor your program and make sure you're on track. Recognition programs like Guusto will also enable you to put a backstop in place so you don't blow your entire budget. But here's the thing. Even if you do find that you've significantly underestimated participation, it means a lot of people are using the program and finding value from it, meaning spending more is probably justified. And at the end of the day, if your program is doing so well that you need to find more budget for it, that's a much nicer problem to have than if you're struggling to get people to use it. What's more, this increased uptake should be reflected in your business results through gains in productivity, retention, and other areas. And for context, the gold standard for creating a recognition-rich culture is a budget of 2 to 3% of payroll. Hey everyone, I'd love to know how you set up your recognition program budgets. Answer in the comments. So, to recap, if you want to plan your recognition budget to maximize your program's chance of success, you need to 1. Give the right amounts to the right people. 2. Set allowances on a reasonable frequency. And 3. Set your allowances based on projected participation, not your total budget. Doing this will help you drive adoption, improve your chances of getting participation at the very top level of your organization, and ensure you see the impact you want from recognition on your company's culture. If you want more pro tips for how to set up a recognition program for real success, check out the Ultimate Employee Recognition Playbook. It's packed with tips to help you set up and launch an impactful program from start to finish. Click the link to download a copy. Hey everyone, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button as it really helps get the video out to more people. And if you want more great culture building content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you don't miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to recognize someone for a job well done today. Mucho gusto.